So first of all, we have the dynamic duo of Sarah Noble from S&D and Jake Bleacher from the Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate, talking about headquarters perspectives and any outstanding questions from their perspectives. Take it away, Sarah and Jake.
Great, thank you, Kelsey, and wanted to extend thanks from Sarah and I to you, Kelsey, and Jose for taking a lead on this, and thank you, Jack, for those words from Apollo. Really helped set the stage for the conversation we're looking to have today. And I want to just bring forward a few more words from Apollo, a few quotes that, in fact, I've recently only seen because of some of the documentaries that have come out that one of our subsequent speakers, Ben Feist, was involved in helping create. First of those is from the film The Last Steps, from Jack's crewmate, Gene Cernan. He was being asked about his perspective on Apollo 17 being the end of Apollo, and his statement was, "This isn't the end. We've just begun to crawl with the Apollo program. We're now hoping that we can learn to begin to walk and press on into the future." And the second quote I'd like to deliver is from Buzz Aldrin, as he was addressing a joint meeting of the Houses of Congress as they were receiving the Apollo 11 astronauts on September 16th, 1969. And he said, "What this country does with the lessons of Apollo will determine just how giant a leap we have taken." So I don't know about everybody else out there, but I can feel these quotes speaking directly to us. We're here today to begin a conversation about how to structure real-time science support of Artemis crewed operations. Now I'm going to say that again. We're here today to discuss structuring real-time science support for this generation of astronauts as they explore the surface of the moon. If that doesn't give you goosebumps, I just don't know what will. Artemis is a grand endeavor. Through Artemis, we'll lay the groundwork for expansion of lunar exploration in a sustained manner, as well as prepare for another giant leap onwards to Mars as we continue exploring the moon. Now, great endeavors set valuable goals, but it's the actual achievement of an endeavor that's really important. Successful achievement of great endeavors requires great planning. This level of planning necessitates broad and diverse inputs to make sure we do this right. And for that, we need your help. We want to ensure that we build a structure and a system that properly connects the science community with the planning, with surface operations, with post-mission data analysis. This will eventually become a cycle, and we can evolve as we move forward. But we need to start with these first few missions. And for this, we need your imagination, we need your vision, we need your help. What we're trying to build is something that doesn't currently exist. Now, we can leverage lessons from the Apollo program, as Jack was speaking about, and Jim will share his lessons in a few minutes as well. We have the International Space Station. We can look at some of our robotic missions, like the Mars Science Laboratory active at Mars, or even Perseverance that just landed. All of these we can build from. We can learn from those experiences, but none of these is a one-for-one perfect example of how we will do this for Artemis. And that's where we need your help. We really do need to talk with everyone and understand your vision for how this could work so that we make sure we get this right. Sarah, do you have anything else to add to that?
I just wanted to reiterate what you said, that we really need to, use what we can from our history, but don't be afraid to think out of the box. Like, be creative. Let's think about some new ways of doing things that we can do even better than our predecessors did.
Yeah, that's great, Sarah. And, we want to certainly capture everything from in the box. We want to think outside the box. We want to be thinking about so far away we can't even see the box. So we don't want to miss anything. We want to make sure we bring it all together. And so for our second bullet here, I kind of said this, but I want to reiterate here very clearly. This is just the start of a process. We're not expecting to get all the answers in the next 2 days in this one workshop. But there are some inputs that we need, right away. We're planning now. If the outcome from this workshop is more questions, better questions than the way we're asking them right now, we can continue to address that as we move forward. That's good. That's a win for us. This dialogue will continue. Will continue to help us plan for this first Artemis mission, and it will continue to help us evolve as we move forward for future Artemis missions. So I just want to be clear, we need some of these inputs right away. Jose already talked about the detailed questions that we're going to be looking at, and we've instructed the team to keep the discussion on topic for the next 2 days. We acknowledge that there are a significant number of related topics. If they feel that comments or the discussion are moving away from the intended focus, then we've asked them to capture that information, and we'll discuss these as areas for potential future workshop opportunities. But as we go through the conversations over the next 2 days, please help our chairs and support team members keep this discussion focused, because there's a good bit of input that we need to get out of this. And you'll see as we move forward with some of the presentations later that, how we have this structured for, in general, mission support. And what we're talking about here is how do we connect that science piece to it? So that, that's what we're trying to get at. Sarah, do you have anything else to add to this?
No, I actually think we covered that pretty well. And I think it leads into our next point, which is that we really need to work together, because this is hard. It's really complicated. It involves multiple directorates inside NASA. It involves outside stakeholders, the science community, the commercial communities. And in order to do this, right, we need to have a plan. The sooner that we can get our act together and understand what science wants and needs, the sooner we can start incorporating that into the architecture, the more successful we're going to be at that. And so we need your help in order to help you, right? And so we have to work hard now so that we can do this detailed planning that will allow us to really articulate what our needs are and how they can fit into the architecture, so that the engineers that are designing the systems can use that information. They're already asking us for it, and we really got to get our act together as fast as we can in order to provide them the information they need. And we also have to remember that it's not just lunar science, that this is an endeavor that involves human research, heliophysics, astrophysics, biological research, technology development. There are a number of folks that have stakeholders in this environment, and we need to make sure that we're playing together with all of them and that our needs are articulated so that we can fit everything together like a giant puzzle. Jake, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think we just, continue to reiterate this multiple science discipline aspect to this. And this is a great place where we can build upon Apollo. As we go to explore the moon through Artemis, we'll have different capabilities. We'll be able to do some things differently, and we'll certainly be in a different location. The potential to encounter and address different science objectives will be present based on where we're going. So, think about not only your specific discipline, where your expertise comes from, but how that merges with other disciplines and other areas of expertise. That's really going to be helpful to us as we think about how to cast that wide net and build this science support.
And then the last point that we really wanted to make is that, we want you to join us, right? And I know that the community has been frustrated. I've heard it, directly and secondhand from a lot of you, that you're frustrated that so much is being done behind the scenes internally to NASA. And we want to reassure you that, in fact, we do expect to compete roles, that we are looking to define those roles now, and we do expect to compete many roles for the science team. But as we go through the next couple of days, I want to keep in mind that will still be a small number of people, and we want you to think about how we interact with the broader community and not just those selected team members in real time, and how do we encourage and include early career folks within the structure. Jake, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think those two sub-bullets are just really important to drive home there. Especially that last point about early career. Artemis is intended to be multi-missions carrying on for years. And there will be activities involving crew. There will be activities that don't involve crew. We got to make sure we have on-ramps to bring along the community, train up the community on how this works, so that we're there to support not just the first mission, but many missions after that. So let's really think about how we engage. There will be a team that's competed, as Sarah said, but we don't want to limit participation in this at that team. So how do we get even that team connected to the next layer of personnel outside. Because again, that's the groups of people that are going to probably end up staffing subsequent mission teams down the road. So we have to really reach out to everybody and make sure that we're kind of all involved in this. So I think that's it for us. Thanks, Kelsey.
Sure thing. Thank you both. So in my opinion, that, if I could summarize that talk, the gauntlet's been thrown. It's a big ask for us this week. But as Sarah and Jake just said, this really is a joint community effort, and we genuinely want to hear from all of you. So we really hope that the next 2 days are full of engagement from all of you in the community. And as you just heard, headquarters is listening, and they really want all of our input and feedback. So thanks very much for that, and really excited to continue with this community endeavor.